This is a podcast about both having autism and living with someone who has autism. My mom is Sonya, and I'm Josh, and this is Josh Has Autism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Josh Has Autism.
Hello.
So Josh, big events since the last podcast.
Yeah?
Yep, you moved back home.
Yeah.
Yep. So first of all, before anything else, what do you think of that?
I like being home.
You do?
Yeah. There are some things that I don't care about, but overall I enjoy being back home.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
The thing you don't care about, I would guess, is the yard work that helped us
I
with.
forgot about that already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Even though we did that just yesterday.
Right.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. There's something to be said for small yards.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I thought that by now, like Dad and I would have like a little tiny house,
Yeah.
maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, little tiny house with just a little piece of grass for Einstein.
Yeah.
And instead, we had to use a riding mower, and Dad was on the
push mower.
Dad was on the riding mower. I did the push mower. And then Dad did the weed eating, and then you helped to rake, or I raked. Dad raked, and I raked. And
I
you
raked
helped.
a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
And we bagged all the grass.
Yeah.
So, what's that fake stuff? AstroTurf.
AstroTurf? Oh my gosh.
Yes. I don't know if they make any that feels like real grass, but...
I believe the one for football fields do, but at the same time they have all those bead stuff underneath of it.
I don't know. So it's real soft.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a lot of work. But so thank you for helping with that yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that you're happy that you're back home.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I didn't think that would be the case. I thought that maybe you were feeling like, I'm finally out of there. I don't want to go back.
Yeah. Well, when I say that there's a couple negatives, it's more so that, to my impression, is that I'm still being treated like I'm younger than I am. Like, hey Josh, you need to clean your room. You haven't said that, but I mean, like, oh geez, what was it? Being reminded to do stuff as I'm doing them.
But that hasn't happened yet either.
Yeah,
though.
It has.
No.
Yeah.
No. When? Tell me. Because I'm very mindful of that, because I know that's not what, you don't like that, but...
Right. Jeez, I just remember that it happened just yesterday.
Okay.
I was in my room. I was picking stuff up to try and figure out where to put them and everything, like with my clothes and even stuff like that. Even because most of that is still in the boxes. But you called out down the hall, "Hey Josh, go ahead and put your clothes away." Or something like that, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I just disagree with that completely, because the only thing that I've talked to you about in that room was that I knocked on the door, and we said, come in. I helped to rearrange some things so that you had space to walk around.
Yes, so, you did do that.
So I didn't, so I just disagree with that completely, because we haven't even gotten to that point yet.
Right.
Because here's the other thing, too, is that it's complicated because you didn't move back here into your own room. Josh and Madison... Connor and Madison have their own room, which is now Josh's room.
Yeah.
And...
temporarily RJ's room.
Well... You brought a friend with you.
Yeah.
So... it is a bit strange because RJ did not have an apartment that was available just yet.
Right.
I'm not going to put him out on the street.
Right.
So what's kind of weird is that he put his stuff in storage until the apartment opens up.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's sleeping in that room too. So essentially you're on the bottom bunk, which is Madison's bed.
Yeah.
He's on the top bunk, which is Connor's bed.
Yes.
So it's so weird. I went by and you guys are just laying in your bunk beds and you're talking, and I say, "Good night, boys." It's just like this is weird.
Yeah.
But yes, and so right, it's crowded.
Right.
And so what we've done was to take all of the kids' toys and move them out to the living room, so that you and RJ have a place to be able to move around and to walk through because it was just too crowded.
Right. And going back to what I was saying, again, it was my impression that that's what was happening, not necessarily that it was.
Wait, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. It's one of the things that is very, very complicated.
Yeah.
For us outside of your brain.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of times we are held to
higher standards.
Yeah, and are held accountable for something we didn't even do. Like in this situation.
Right.
I feel like there are things that you feel you're very specific and methodical, and things have to be in a certain order, and I get that. And sometimes it's that part of autism in our relationship that's always difficult for those of us that live with you, in that we can do something innocently, but it can aggravate you because you already have this methodical way of doing something,
right?
And if we say something, it throws you off. Or what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what the situation, it doesn't matter what the time of day,
right?
I'm kind of at a disadvantage from the very beginning, because me just having a conversation with you or making a request or asking for you to help or whatever it is, I don't know when the right time for that is, because it can mess up your day.
Right.
It can mess up your, like you're just talking about, how did I really say those things to you? I mean, here's my question. Did I really say those things to you? Or was it your perception that I said that? Either way, you're holding it as if I did that. So there's nothing really that I can do about it. Does that make any sense to you at all?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it's not necessarily that I'm holding it against you or anything. I remember things happening. I don't remember exactly. So I have this impression that this happened, but it's not necessarily that.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is that not necessarily that is what I'm having to dance around all the time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, is that I never know when the right time is. Because I don't know where you're at in your process of any given thing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's yeah. So it can be very complicated. So, anyway, maybe you can help me to, and maybe I don't know what we do at this point, because it's just too early, because you just moved in, and
Yeah.
And it is strange. So one thing that I know about this move is, and my guess is that it would be because you're on the right therapeutic level on your medications. But this is the first move that you've ever gone through that was very different than any before because you were able to stay on task.
Yeah.
And you were able to focus on what needed to be done.
Yeah.
And that was very different than any time before.
Mm.
So what did you feel like? What seemed different to you?
To be perfectly clear, the only move that I really remember, even then it's not really much, was moving from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I remember that at that move, I was not okay.
Right.
I had just broken it off with Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just quit my job and all this other stuff. And I was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that much. I barely remember saying bye to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that they helped us move. Like, pack stuff up. They didn't?
No, they didn't.
Oh. I could have sworn I saw them there. Oh.
Bunch of people from the town we lived in.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, think about it. We're a little town. There's like 300 people. So
yeah, less than 250, yeah.
So, you know, a lot of friends there, and they helped us load the U-Haul.
Yeah.
But, and also, I don't know if you remember this or not, that your breakup with Kayla was in, like, January, very beginning of February.
Yeah.
And we moved in June.
Yeah.
And that was a very tough time for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very, very difficult for you.
Yeah.
But that move was, you know, that particular move, I didn't want to move either. I didn't want to go. If I had my way, honestly, we would still be living in Pennsylvania.
Mm.
I didn't want to leave there.
Right.
But anyway, so it's interesting. So you don't remember this last move where Dad and I moved into this house?
Vaguely.
Huh.
Very vaguely.
Okay. That's interesting.
Like, I remember we had people to help us move all of our stuff, but other than that, I don't really remember moving into here.
Well, you went down to a different apartment.
Right.
And Dad and I came here.
Mm-hmm. I still don't remember helping you guys move, though. Wow. But anyways, to answer your... Was it a question, or was it...
I think so. I think it was because this time you were able to stay on task when it came time to get your stuff in boxes.
Yes.
And go through things and, make sure that your laundry was done, that, you know what I mean? That you just, like, you were kind of able to stay on task.
Yeah.
So my question was, what was different this time about the other times? And I guess you just answered that, because if you were so off balance or doing so poorly that you don't remember the move whatsoever, then that's the answer as to why you had a hard time even packing and staying on task. But this time, again, your medication is different. But my other question with this is it because that you wanted to move here?
Not necessarily, because I wasn't really worried about where I was going to live, because I knew things were going to be okay. Because as weird as that may sound, I'm not explaining it very well. I knew that there was a time limit. I knew when things were going to happen. I knew where I was going to go. I knew how I was going to go there. And it just made things easier knowing all that.
In the past, we've made sure that you knew those things.
Yes.
In the past, we had knew where we were moving to, what let you know the layout of where we're going, where you had sometimes a choice of 2 different rooms. And once you made your choice, then we use the other one as an office.
Right.
But this is the way it's always been, though. We have always been very careful in preparing the path for you so that you knew exactly what was happening. It's just this time you were engaged and participated. Right.
I think that another part of that is that I didn't move very far, so not very much changed.
I think that's
a small part of it. But at the same time, there's also, because things didn't really change very much, except for where I'm living, it made it easier to what's the word? Comprehend. Okay. Easier to swallow.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, I guess so my perception on this is different than what you're saying.
Okay.
And here's why. When you say that it's closer and you knew where you were going, last November when we bought this house and you went to RJ's apartment, you moved from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor. And that was it. So that's extremely close. And the timeline was laid out. The requests were laid out. Please gather your clothes. So I wouldn't just say pack your stuff. Just like I know better than to say clean your room.
Right.
You know, I would ask you, okay, how about today if we go through your clothes? If you put your clothes in a box that are going to go down. Or the apartment is right there, let's carry your clothes that are on hangers down and put them in a closet down there. And even those kinds of instructions were at the time were too much for you to follow through on.
Yeah.
Very, very different this time because you had a bin that you got to put clothes in to transfer over here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the difference in not just not being aware of what you needed to do, but it's not really this, but it was like this resistance or inability to follow through on it.
Okay.
And this time you were proactive. So it's very, very different. Okay. And the only thing there's 2 things that I can think of. One is that you are on medication, the right medication right now. You're off a medication that Abilify that didn't help you. You're on a therapeutic level on the other medications, and you had said to me before that you wanted to move back home, that you were looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's like, do you know how we've talked before about how when there's something that you want to do, you seem to have an easier time of seeing a path to get there?
Yes.
If it's not something that you want to do, it's the feeling of
overwhelm.
Exactly, and it interferes.
Yes.
And so I wonder if there was part of that too, because you could really see how this was going to go.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can definitely agree with that.
And it still needed to be. Things need to be methodical. Things need to be. It's interesting because I wouldn't describe you as organized.
Right.
At all. But I would say you're meticulous.
Yeah. To me, it's organized chaos.
Yeah, I guess so. But the whole... Since you've been here, there's been some things that you feel overwhelmed with. And one of the things is that you moved into a room that's not really yours. You're sleeping in a bed that's not your bed.
Right.
At this point, you're sharing your room with somebody. And you still haven't found a place for all of your stuff.
Right.
I'm well aware that that's a scenario that keeps you on edge and makes it so you're not comfortable and really relaxed.
Right.
So, and I don't know, other than to help you find a place for everything. We're in a house that's about 2,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
The house has two, what used to be called like a living room and a family room.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people call it a den.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we use a living room, and Nana and Pappy have their own separate living room.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness, because Pappy needs hearing aids, and he refuses to get them. So the TV is so loud that we oftentimes can hear it across the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so loud. And then when Nana tells Pappy, you need to get hearing aids, he's like, you need to get hearing aids. She's like, you need to get hearing aids. Tell him, Sonya, he needs hearing aids. I'm like, what?
Not that you need hearing aids. But like, more like, I'm staying out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Anyway, so they're over there in that living room.
Mm-hmm.
But we're having a hard time finding renovators and people that can
build.
Yes. And we could build, but we by law can't, because it has to be done by code, which means certain people have to sign off on it.
Right.
So we need somebody to do the plumbing, because Nana needs a handicap accessible bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is there's a garage next to their living room.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be their bedroom. Then in the addition is a handicap bathroom in front of the garage. It's not there yet.
Right.
So that's a new build.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do that ourselves because code says we can't. We have to have other people do it.
We could do it ourselves, but it would be illegal.
We could do it, yeah. We know how to do it.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is get it framed in. We need to get the plumbing set. We need to get it framed in.
Right.
Then we can do all the work.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it all on the inside, but we can't get started until we can get those people that can sign off on it.
Right.
So anyway, what I'm saying is that now they have our master bedroom. So now Dad and I are in a bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Our office is in a different room, and then that leaves the fourth bedroom that we have right now was the kids' bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is your bedroom, RJ's bedroom, Connor's bedroom, and Madison's bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's confusing for everyone.
Yeah. Connor went in there the other day. He's like, but why should I knock?
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It gets confusing for him.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is that this is not comfortable for anybody, but for you and Connor.
Yeah.
It seems like it's especially difficult to comprehend that, and just for him to comprehend, but for you just to find your bearings at this point. Yeah. So how are you doing with that?
I mean, I'm a bit stressed.
Yeah.
But my usual outlets of D&D I haven't done in a couple weeks because of all the moving and stuff. Mm-hmm. So hopefully tomorrow I can do that again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's pretty stressful. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm thankful I have a place to sleep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Is there anything that we can do here other than the thing we just talked about, which I don't know how to rectify? If I'm just having a conversation with you, it's like I say, it has to be at a time that I know is the right time, which I never know is the right time because I'm not in your brain.
Right.
Other than that,
mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we can do to help that you need that maybe we're not doing or that you're not getting here that would help?
Maybe set days for doing yard work so that I know when I should dress and what.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We can try that. and we've tried that in the past as well. Sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate.
Right, and I understand that.
Okay, so what we'll do is, so we'll set a day, and we'll keep an eye on the weather, and I will try to give you a day or two notice if we need to change it.
Okay.
So yes, we can do that.
Okay.
Right. Anything else?
One thing that I remember from the last time I was living with you, and it's happened a couple times now, is you're in a completely different room. Josh!
Yeah, I get...
And it's not that it happens all the time. It's like, as soon as I settle down to do something, that's when it seems that you call me. And it's always horrible timing like that. But I know it's not your intention to do that.
No, because sometimes, since you've been here, it's Josh, and I want you to, see if you wanted to go do something with me that you typically enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If I'm going out someplace that I know that you like going, I just call to you, can you, see if you want to go.
Yeah.
And, right, but again, this is why it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Because, our light just went
dimmer.
And then, it's the bulb.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the bulbs is going out.
Okay.
So the bulb went out. And, that was really weird.
Yeah.
It got dark in here and then bright again.
Yeah. Without going all the way out, yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Mind reader.
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably everybody can tell. Like, we sound probably tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. You're tired. This whole arrangement. I mean, look, it's,
we're still moving Nana stuff.
It's kind of like that. We moved those two households. We moved them up here, and the build was supposed to be done.
Yeah.
And then
it still hasn't happened.
No, a couple contractors backed out, and we went without a kitchen sink for a while because the pipe broke, and so that was just fixed.
Yeah.
So all of us, with no kitchen sink was just a pain.
Yeah.
But so Nana, we're not settled because it's like to move these two households into one is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then for you and RJ to come in, on top of that, it just feels very
overwhelming.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It feels overwhelming. It feels like you can't, everybody's doing fine.
No.
But, bump into each other.
Yeah.
It's just, you can... Look, 2,000 square feet is not a small house.
Right.
It sure feels tiny right now.
Right. Right. Especially with 6 people in it.
Yes.
Trying to live in 4 bedrooms.
And 3 dogs.
And 3 dogs, yeah.
Yes. Because we had talked about that Nellie came, Nellie Belly Button came to... live with us, so she's here. Einstein, of course, is here, and then Nana's dog Bella Bean.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of crowded, and so I understand that you need time on your own, that you need to get away from us and go into the room and just I get that. Also, right down the road, we have a private beach. So in this community, we have a private beach.
Of 6 feet or something?
No.
Was it 8?
7.5. No, it's pretty decent.
Really?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it's pretty decent. It has... it's not huge. It's like a little cove.
Yeah.
So it's not... And since I grew up in San Diego, in Pacific Beach, you have these, like, little kind of areas up around La Jolla, down by the jetty and the...
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I'm going to continue making these sounds as if I understand what you're saying.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is like a little cove where... you can park and you walk down, and then on either side it's kind of enclosed, and then it's actually...
No, I know what a cove is. I'm saying...
It's a beach. This here is a beach, but it's the James River. Mm-hmm. So there's sand and everything, like it's a beach. There's waves that come in, but it's James River.
Yeah. Anyway. I'm saying I don't know California.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, you were, just 2 months old when we moved from there, yeah. Yes, so I'm saying to you, that's a very nice, peaceful place to go if you ever want to just get out and go and get away from us and just... They have benches to sit on. They have a gazebo there. They have,
cool.
Sand. If you want to kayak.
Yeah.
So why don't we get you a kayak and you can start going out in it?
Okay.
I saw something the other day that was really cool that I didn't even know they had. I always like paddle boards. Mm-hmm. And people came down to the beach there, and they had an inflatable paddle board.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was such a thing. Yeah. But now I find out they have inflatable kayaks too. But this paddleboard, he said, was like just as solid as a actual paddleboard that is not inflatable. Mm-hmm. And it comes with a pump, comes with a little backpack. Mm-hmm. So they just carried it in their backpack down. They pumped it up and went out on the paddleboard, and it was awesome.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that I want to get one of those. Because sometimes Dad and I go walking down trails up around Yorktown and James, I think it's called James City by Williamsburg. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of different historical sites to go visit, and then if you walk just a little bit further, there's these waterways. Yeah. That'll be really cool to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point to you is that if you need to just get out, that's an excellent place that you can go. And it's very peaceful.
Okay.
And it's usually windy. Mm-hmm. And it feels very nice. And
okay.
Yeah. I'll show you how to get there today, so you know exactly how to get there. And you can ride your bike down.
Okay.
It's really close. Okay, so anyway, whoops. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that we can do here for you that you need done that would help you to feel better? I will stop calling you. I don't know what you want me to do. Because I'm just having conversations with you. I don't think about it,
Right. It's more so that I just don't want to get up from what I'm doing, and it's distracting whenever I'm in the middle of doing something and I have to run out to find where you are and stuff.
Okay.
So it's not that I am unhappy that you do things like that to let me know that you're doing stuff.
But you'd just rather me leave you alone entirely. I get it. I get what you're saying, because you're trying to be nice about it, but essentially you want to be left alone. That's where is your happy place. You come out when you are okay with being around company, around your family, and if not, you're in your room and for us to leave you alone.
Yeah.
I get that. And on the other side of that, can you understand that essentially I can't win in this scenario because I can't talk to you, or
I get it,
because it's the wrong thing and it's the wrong time. So if I can't talk to you because it's the wrong thing and the way that I'm saying it, the request or whatever it is, or that you've already thought about it. Just come knock on
the door.
Are you telling me that if I came and knocked on your door, that wouldn't bother you? Like,
it wouldn't bother me as much as having to stop what I'm doing, get up, and then go find you to find out what you wanted to tell me.
Okay. These rules are going to take some getting used to again.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, when I'm doing something that I think you would enjoy and be a part of, whatever, and I just call you because I'm running around doing things.
Yeah.
I don't think about it as being intrusive. It's not my intention.
Oh, I understand that. And it's not that I get upset with you either. It's like,
That's a little bit upset with me. That's a little bit upset. Yeah, well, okay. We're just going to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I can, you can remind me of the things that are hard for you to deal with.
Okay.
And I can do it a different way. And I really would like it if you could begin to understand that the things that are said to you and the timing that is said to you, that nobody outside of in your head is aware of what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm. As I've heard over the years, I'm not a mind reader so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't lived together now for a couple of months, so I don't.
Yeah.
So this situation has been something that
It was put on the back burner of your mind because it didn't matter, really, at the time.
Well, and honestly, I think I was happy to not have to do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just say it out loud. Always having to do things in a particular way because it makes the other person function better.
Yeah.
It certainly has a purpose, and I get that. And it also takes more time and effort and energy.
Yeah.
I guess time.
Yeah, it does.
No, not time necessarily, but effort and energy, yes. Yeah. And
Dang,
so
having to dig through the loaf of bread to get to the next one.
You know what's funny? Now that one, even when you weren't here, so people that don't know what we're talking about, if you take with a loaf of bread, you can't take an end piece and not take the piece next to it. You have to.
No, you can't leave the end piece and take the one next to it.
Or you can't take the one next to it and in the end piece. They're both things. If you take the piece of bread next to the end piece,
it screws it up,
and the other one next to it, then you have an end piece and the fourth one in.
Yeah.
And
that
this irritates you so bad.
It does.
That I've learned when you weren't even here, I would adhere to your bread rules because that was one that was so ingrained in me. Like you have to. Yes. Or you have to go into the center. If you're going to bypass that, you have to go to the center then.
Take the third or fourth one, yeah. Third and fourth one.
Right. Yeah. You can't take the second or the first without taking
the other.
The second and first.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Yes. Because it doesn't, it bugs you.
Yeah.
And yes. And then I've heard from even our cousin, Melba, she said she's right there with you on that one. Because autism or not, you take it. If you don't do it right, the bread doesn't match.
Right.
So she's like, yeah, you got it. Yeah, she gets it. So yeah, your bread rules stuck with me. Yep. Yeah. I got that. But this is something that I, just stopped worrying about. Yeah. And now we have a house full, and because for example today, so RJ's living here, and he's not working today, and when he doesn't work, he has the kids.
Oh boy.
And which now means because he lives here, when he has the kids, we have the kids.
Yeah.
And we love having them around, but like today for me is a solid work day from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And
that reminds me of something.
What's that?
Today, Connor got his breakfast from RJ, and he started screaming about it. I don't want this. I wanted this. And so I turned off the TV. He started crying even harder at that. But I turned off the TV and I told him, hey, finish chewing what you're chewing, and then I'd like to talk to you. So he finished what he was chewing, swallowed. I was like, hey, if there's something wrong with what's going on, don't just scream about it. Try and let us know why it's not okay. So that we can understand better and we can make things better. And he's like, and I asked him, can you do that? And he nodded and said, yeah, I can. Mm-hmm. So that's huge.
Mm-hmm. So what happened?
He didn't like that there was butter and sugar on his French toast, like granulated sugar.
He had sugar on his French toast?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Just a tiny bit. And so he didn't want that. He wanted syrup. God. So RJ put syrup on it.
Oh no.
And then he's like, no.
Oh no.
And so he ended up just getting it cut up into 9 pieces and then getting syrup put on that. Oh. So it was just the French toast and syrup.
Yeah. Wow.
And then Maddie had 2 bowls of cereal.
Wow.
And ate the rest of his.
Wow.
That was covered in sugar.
Wow.
And
I don't know where they are right now, but it's quiet around here. Well, because they're making homemade ice cream today.
Oh, okay.
So they probably went to the store to buy the stuff to make homemade ice cream. But hearing what they just ate,
yes,
they need to get outside and
run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I wanted to mention to you that thank you for going with us a couple days ago. The kids Haley has opted to homeschool the kids right now. I know people are making their own choices. It's tough for everybody, but because of COVID, she went into the school and talked to them about homeschooling. The secretary said, you're the 19th mom today to come in and say this exact thing.
Wow. So
there's a lot of parents that are opting to homeschool. And so the other day, we decided to talk to them about gravity. And we went out to the park and we flew kites and talked about up and down and why the gravitational pull of the earth and Anyway, I want to say you did a great job with them on that lesson, and your input was huge, and your patience with them with kites, and so I really appreciated you going with me. And I might be wrong about this, but I think that if we go someplace, a lot of times I can get you to do things with me if there's a promise of food. Like, I will take you to lunch if you will go with me and do this. And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a nice time. Yeah. It was fun, and you did a great job in helping me teach them, so thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, so right off the bat, what shall we do? Do you need help straightening and clearing out your room some? Do you need a place for your clothes? Do you need a drawer that's designated as yours? Because they have a big dresser in there. They don't use all the drawers.
Right now, I think I'm okay.
Okay. You're done.
Yeah.
You just did that signal that says cut.
Yeah.
You're done with this podcast, right?
For today, yeah.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I think we were both exhausted starting this podcast, and so I can tell that right now you're just wiped.
Yeah.
And I know, because I know you're going to go lay down.
Yeah.
Yep. And okay, so I won't bug you until I see you again.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, thank you for hanging out with us again. One time before, everybody, I think everybody knows I'm a animal lover. Mm-hmm. I just think they are all fantastic. Snakes scare me some, but they're still cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't mosquitoes and ticks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see why those are here, but anyway, there is I mentioned a big guy named Monty. And wanted to give a little update. Monty is in the hospital. He's been in ICU. It looks like he's having some troubles breathing, and he's going to have some surgery. And they're not quite sure what's going on with him. So those of you that are animal lovers and also, send out prayers, or you do energy healing, if you could send those to Monty and his mom, Kelly, they would appreciate that. He's in need of all kinds of
help.
Yep, help. All the good stuff right now.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we appreciate that. Please check us out at sonyaking.com, SONYAKING. We have other podcasts on there, some blogs. I haven't written blogs in a while because of everything that's going on.
No,
so once things settle down some, I'll start writing the blogs again.
Okay.
But anyway, and give us 5 stars if you would. That would be awesome because it helps us to be seen. So, Josh, you made it through another podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Love you.
Bye.